Any thoughts about session 1?
Session 2.
No, session 1.
Session 1. Session 1 was... part 2, sorry. Session 1 is... Yeah, a lot of stuff is kind of revision because... it's half revision, half learning.
Well, that's what I set it up as, a learning exercise. A teaching exercise for you.
A very good way to learn.
But also, it's a good way to get it into your head.
Very much.
And also to reaffirm what you do know and what you don't know. And the idea is for you to go away and revisit those 1 or 2 areas that
and
that just need revision. So it's really this was set up as a guide to prompt you in terms of how you go away and just reaffirm session 1, which we did 11 months ago. So considering we haven't looked at it since 11 months ago, you've done very well.
Yeah, and also other things come into play which helped me out a little bit, which was nice.
But this was set up more, not as a test really, but as a teaching tool for you. So that when you get session 1 questions in the final test or any mock test I set you, you will be on top of them. Do you agree?
Yes.
But
I agree.
Do you feel it was a fair test?
No, very. It's a very great way of learning.
Yeah, I think I'm a kind teacher. My pleasure. Question 1. This is on, the topic is anatomical planes and cells and tissues. Question 1. Which cells are specialised to help with breathing and respiration? Is it A, blood cells, B, bone cells, C, muscle cells, D, lung cells, E, air sac cells, and F, rib cage cells? Which cells are specialised to help with breathing and respiration? Blood, bone, muscle, lung, air sac, or rib cage?
I mean, I would say... Oxygen runs through the blood, right?
It does, yeah. It gets it from the lungs to the cells of the body.
I'm kind of split, but I'm going to go with lung cells.
Yeah, I mean the lungs is an organ, it's a specialised organ, which has your windpipe, your bronchi, bronchioles, going down to your air sacs, and the oxygen and carbon dioxide goes in and out of that passageway, and then crosses a boundary to go from the lungs into the blood system, and it's the red blood cells that takes the oxygen away to the rest of the body. Picks up carbon dioxide through respiration, carries it back through the red blood cells and dumps it in the lungs.
And is the
for it to
oxygen
be breathed out?
And is that where hemoglobin comes in? Because
because the hemoglobin actually
carries
makes it red blood cells, and actually, like a backpack, carries the oxygen in its back.
And they're flexible, so they can kind of fit through the capillaries.
Well, the capillaries are something. Basically, the blood is carried through the arteries, and your arteries, veins, and capillaries. The arteries take the blood from the heart to the rest of the body. It goes to the cells in the tissues via the capillaries, and then the capillaries join up and go back to the heart via the veins. But I'll explain it to you in our next session. Basically, breathing is the physical process of oxygen going in, carbon dioxide going out. Respiration is in the cell level, where the oxygen breaks down the glucose in the cells, breaks it down, forms carbon dioxide, and goes back into the blood system to your lungs. This question, although it says breathing and respiration, it's really focusing on breathing.
Yeah.
Because the respiration occurs in tissues like kidney cells or stomach cells, or that's where cell respiration occurs. So the question isn't actually accurate.
Yeah,
because breathing occurs in the lungs, respiration occurs in specialised cells like the rest of the body.
Okay.
But really, it's asking to do with breathing.
Okay.
So which would you go for?
Lungs.
The lung is also a specialised cell. It's an organ, but an organ is made up of many, many cells. So a lung cell becomes a lung organ.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And a stomach cell becomes a stomach organ.
Yeah.
But we don't call a lung cell a lung cell. We call it... Any ideas what we would call a cell inside a lung? From that list?
Blood cell.
Well, that carries your blood, red blood cells. Because what in your head you're thinking, well, a blood cell picks up the oxygen. Does that make it a blood cell, or does that just make it a carrier of oxygen?
A carrier of.
A carrier.
Okay.
But it's not the actual cell that took the air in the first place. It's carrying it away from the lungs to the rest of the body. That's what a blood cell does. I'm asking, what is it responsible that takes it in through your nose and mouth and just gets it to the bottom of the lungs? What enables the oxygen to go from the bottom of the lungs into that blood cell? Any ideas?
What enables the oxygen to get into the blood cell?
No, what enables the oxygen
into the lungs
to go from the bottom of your lungs into that blood cell? You've got blood, bone, muscle, lung, air sacs or rib cage.
Not air sac.
What do you think air sac means?
Cells in the air sac.
Yeah. What is air made up of? Oxygen and carbon dioxide. So it's a sac. Sac means it's a sort of bubble type thing. Yeah.
Okay.
And what do you think it's going to contain?
Air.
Which is
oxygen
that we breathe in and
carbon dioxide
that we breathe out. Yes.
And that's breathing.
And that's a cell.
Yeah.
That sac is a cell.
Okay.
Whereas a lung is an organ, which is many, many cells. Could be many cells of an air sac, many cells of bronchioles, which are tiny little branches, many cells of bronchi, many cells of your windpipe. But the whole thing is a lung, which is an organ, which is many specialised cells, all with particular roles to play. But we're looking at the one that I know what you're mixing it up with. Breathing in is physically going into the lung, but when they talk about breathing, they're actually talking about gaseous exchange, which is at the base of the lungs. So maybe the question is not quite accurate. It should say, which cells are specialised to help with gaseous exchange? Actually, that's actually what the question should say.
Okay.
But it could be in your final exam, it will just say breathing and respiration.
Okay.
Just bear that in mind. So if I change that to gaseous exchange, which would you go for?
E.
Yeah, and that's the right answer.
Okay.
Yeah. But I do think they're going to write breathing and respiration because it's a standard box term, but actually, if we're being specific, it's gaseous exchange. I can see why you're thinking, well, you're breathing it in, so sure you use a lung, but actually a lung is not a cell, it's an organ. Choose the correct options about the differentiation process, the cell differentiation process. A, cell differentiation is the process where one cell, e.g. a lung cell, can be identified and be distinct from, e.g. a rib cage cell. Or B, cell differentiation is the process where one cell is set apart from another by their differing functions. C, cell differentiation is the process where one cell is set apart from another by their similar functions. D, cell differentiation takes place with all living cells apart from the reproductive cells. E. Cell differentiation takes place with all living cells, i.e. somatic cells, but these somatic cells do not differentiate with reproductive cells. Or F. Cell differentiation in reproductive cells helps form sperm and egg, bracket meiosis, and all cell repair, mitosis. So let's go through that. So you've got to choose the correct option. So it could be more than one correct answer. Differentiation process. Differentiation is where the cell splits, divides, and becomes specialised. So it could become a kidney cell, a lung cell, could be a stomach cell. It's the process where it becomes specialised. So the first bit says cell differentiation is the process where one cell, e.g. a living cell, can be identified distinct from another. So it's like you can distinguish between a stomach cell and a reproductive cell. Is that what cell differentiation is?
I would say so.
Yes, I would agree with you. That's true. Well done. But true. Cell differentiation is a process where one cell is set apart from another by their differing functions. Do you think that's true?
Yes.
Yes, well done. Cell differentiation is a process where one cell is set apart from another by their similar functions.
False.
False, well done. Cell differentiation takes place with all living cells apart from the reproductive cells.
False. Why does it say apart from?
Because the formation of the reproductive cells is through a process called meiosis and mitosis. So it's a different route. But cell differentiation takes place with all living cells apart from the reproductive cells.
True.
Yeah, that would be true. Cell differentiation takes place with all living cells. All living cells, another name for all living cells is somatic cells.
Yeah.
But these somatic cells do not differentiate with reproductive cells. Basically, somatic cells do not differentiate. Is that true or not?
That's true.
Well, somatic cells is a normal living cell.
So they do differentiate?
Yeah, they do differentiate, yeah.
Oh, yes.
So that's false. Cell differentiation in reproductive cells helps form sperm. So differentiation does occur with reproductive cells, but they are distinct from somatic cells. Living cells differentiate to form stomach, heart, lung, and the reproductive cells are set apart from that process.
Okay.
But they differentiate to form the sperm and the egg through meiosis, but somatic living cells differentiate through mitosis, repairing of cells. Am I making sense?
Yep.
They both differentiate, they both become specialised, but just one does it through meiosis and the other does it through mitosis.
Got it. Yeah.
So cell differentiation and reproduction helps form sperm and egg via meiosis, true or false? And cell repair through mitosis, true. This is true. I suppose what they're trying to say is somatic cells differentiate to form the lung cell or the stomach cell or the leg cell or the intestinal cell, but they don't actually differentiate to form the reproductive cell. The reproductive organ differentiates to form your egg and the sperm. That's a completely separate cell differentiation process. But then could the reproductive organ be described as a living cell? It's living, but it's not described as a somatic cell. They basically separate somatic cells from reproductive cells and treat them distinct from each other at this level. But do they both differentiate? Yes. Do they both form specialised cells? Yes. But the living cells, somatic cells, do so via mitosis when repairing old cells, and the reproductive cells do so via meiosis, the formation of the sperm and the egg. Question 3. Choose the correct options with regards to the muscular system. A. This bodily system allows the movement of the body, maintaining posture, and circulates blood throughout the body. Is that what a muscular system does, do you think?
Yes.
Yes, well done, true. The smooth muscle tissue is non-striated and responds to involuntary commands from the nervous system. True or false? Smooth muscle tissue is non-striated and responds to involuntary commands from the nervous system.
True.
Well done, it is true. C. Skeletal muscle tissue is striated and responds to voluntary commands from the nervous system.
True.
Yes. Well done. The cardiac muscle can be found on the myocardium. Cardiac muscle consists of individual heart muscle cells called cardiomyocytes connected by intercalated discs.
True.
It is true. Well done. Intercalated discs of the cardiac muscle work as a single functional organ by supporting synchronized contraction of the cardiac tissue.
True.
It is true. Very well done, though. 4. Which type of muscle tissue lines the respiratory tract? Is it striated muscle? Is it non-striated muscle? Which do you think? The striated is skeletal and non-striated is smooth.
I would say striated.
No, striated is skeletal, like legs,
yes.
when you go
Skeleton.
bodybuilding, skeleton. So non-striated is the involuntary part of your things that you can't control. So respiratory tract, which did you go for? A or B?
Non.
B, well done, non-striated. What about C and D, smooth or skeletal muscle?
Not skeletal.
So smooth?
Yes.
Yes, so C is correct, well done. Because the options were striated muscle, non-striated muscle, smooth muscle, skeletal muscle, cardiac muscle. So yes to striated and smooth. What about cardiac muscle?
Yes.
So you think the muscle lining the respiratory tract is the cardiac muscle? No. Cardiac muscle is to do with the heart. Yeah, exactly. 5. Well done. Well corrected there. What are the body's main muscle regions? Is it the head, neck, forearm, thorax, abdomen, toes? True or false?
True.
It's false.
Is it because of the thorax?
No.
It's because the head.
No. The head has muscles at the back and your neck.
So does the forearm.
So does the forearm. Well, you're thinking about it. Well done.
The thorax. Does the thorax?
Your rib cage, does it have muscles?
Ew, no.
Yes. Because you can't breathe without these muscles.
The abdomen, does that have muscles? Yes.
Yes.
Toes.
Your toes only have bones.
Wait, I've got that.
Oh, what did I write? Did I cross it out?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so kind. Yeah, sorry. Toes, yeah.
And D, you've crossed toes out as well.
Have I given you my answers? Honestly, have I given you the wrong one?
That's the only one though.
Is that me just... Yeah. Let me give you another...
No other answers were on that.
Oh, shame. I didn't realise that I'd actually given you one. So you've got an inside of my thinking there. Yeah. Sorry. Oh yeah, this has been crossed out as well. I'm so nice. So I've given you a bit of a clue there. Crossed out toes by accident. Toes don't have muscles, by the way. So assume that those have not been crossed out.
Okay.
But the fact they were crossed out gives you a huge clue.
Yes.
B, head, neck, shoulder girdle, thorax, abdomen, hamstring.
Yes.
Is that a yes or true?
True.
True, well done. C, shoulder girdle, thorax, pelvis, hip, upper arms.
True.
Well done. Finger, head, neck, hamstring, calves, toes.
False.
Yes. because finger and toes just have bones, not muscle. Head, neck, shoulder girdle, thorax, abdomen, upper limbs.
True.
Yes, well done, brilliant. Very well done. Question 6. Skeletal connective tissue is found in fibrous tissue, bones and veins, arteries, capillaries, air sacs, ligaments, bones, cartilage, muscles, blood or bones, collagen, platelets, white blood cells, fibrous tissue, bones, cartilage, ligaments, bones, muscles, collagen, fibrous tissue and cartilage. So we'll go through each one. So the first one says fibrous tissue, bones and veins. Does skeletal connective tissue, is it found in all three?
Not all three, no.
So is that true or false?
False.
Well done. Arteries, capillaries and air sacs.
False.
Ligaments, bones, cartilage.
True.
Yeah, well done. Muscles, blood and bones.
False.
Yes. Collagen, platelets, white blood cells.
False.
Yes. Fibrous tissue, bones, cartilage.
True.
Yeah. Ligaments, bones, muscles.
True.
Collagen, fibrous tissue, cartilage.
True.
The smooth, well done. Question 7. The smooth, non-striated tissue is found in, is it respiratory system, digestive system, or the urinary tract system, or reproductive system? So, first one, respiratory system, smooth, non-striated tissue.
False.
Smooth, non-striated tissue, it is true. Digestive system,
That's false.
that is true too. Urinary tract system,
I really don't know. I'm gonna go with false. That's obviously true.
it's true. So you need to
Smooth,
revisit
striated
smooth.
tissue.
You need to go revisit smooth muscle and non-striated muscle. I'd make a note of it with that. And reproductive system.
True.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Well done. So you need to, revisit that, and I will check up on it in our next session. Okay, question 8. Planes are imaginary flat surfaces making up the internal body structures. Examples include median plane divides the body left and right. I've given you clues, by the way, as to what these mean, but you wouldn't be given the additional clues. I've been nice. Okay, so this is, although it seems I'm testing you, I'm not. I'm actually teaching you.
Yeah.
So I'm just filling in the gaps for you,
Yeah.
just in case you're not aware of it. Sagittal plane just means dividing the body left and right. Coronal plane means dividing the body back and front. And frontal plane means dividing the body back and front. So planes
Oh,
are...
sorry. Median and sagittal is the same.
Yeah, it's body left and right.
Yeah. Coronal, frontal, forward and back.
Yeah, so is that true?
That's true.
For which?
Medial plane divides the body left and right. It does, because if you have a axis in the middle of the body, you look at left and right. I would say that's true. Sagittal plane. Is anything up and down?
Yeah, true or false?
Top one's true. The second one is sagittal. I think that's false.
It's true.
I know frontal is back and front. That's true, the bottom one.
Yeah,
Third one, I'm going to go with true as well.
it is true. I'm being nice to you now. I'm educating you about these planes. So I'm not being as hard and as harsh as I would be had we covered this topic in recent months. But because this is the first topic we did, I'm actually trying to not really test you, but to educate and fill those gaps in, but also not be too cruel and harsh in terms of the expectations at this stage, because it was about 9 months or 10 months ago that we did this topic. So I'm actually just giving you hints as to what to go and revisit if you're not sure of these things. See? I hope that helps, because I think that would have been a grey area for you. Yeah. 9. The anatomical position has the body in a horizontal position. True or false? Do you know what the anatomical position is?
Yes.
Great, okay. So the body in a horizontal position.
False.
The body in an erect position.
True.
Eyes looking upwards.
False.
Eyes looking downwards.
False.
Eyes looking around.
Eyes looking erect. True.
Yeah, it just means straight
Full
ahead.
straight, yeah.
Limbs extend along the sides of the body. Upper limbs. Limbs
True.
extend along, yeah, that's great. Lower limbs extend along the side of the body.
True.
Palms pose forward.
True.
Toes pose sideways.
False.
Toes pose forward.
True.
The thumbs inward.
False. Thumbs outward. True.
Well done. You do know about the anatomical position, so well done. Ligaments are fibrous connective tissue which attaches muscle to bone. Bone to muscle, cartilage to bone, bone to cartilage, or bone to bone.
Okay, muscle to bone. True.
Bone to muscle.
True. False. Muscle to bone, bone to muscle. Oh,
It's either one or the other, can't be both.
obviously. Okay, so that's false.
Yeah. Cartilage to bone.
False.
Bone to cartilage.
False.
Bone to bone.
False.
Yes, well done. Tendons are fibrous connective tissue which attaches muscle to bone,
False.
bone to muscle,
True.
cartilage to bone,
False.
bone to cartilage,
False.
bone to bone.
False.
Yeah. Well done. The systems of the body are the integumentary system, It's basically a system that has a sort of overall membrane, and it enables homeostasis to occur, where you keep all the pH and all the metabolic systems constant, so that you as a human being function at your optimum level.
True.
That's true. Does it have a muscular system?
Yes, true.
Skeletal?
True.
Respiratory?
True.
Nervous?
True.
Urinary?
True.
Cardiovascular?
True.
Lymphatic?
True.
Reproductive?
True.
Endocrine?
True.
Digestive?
True.
Done. Question 12. Anatomical positions. Superior and inferior.
True.
Anterior, posterior.
True.
Lateral, medial.
True.
Superficial, deep.
True.
Proximal, deep.
Proximal means like proximity. Is that the same thing? Proximal, deep. Proximity. True.
Dorsal, ventral.
True.
Ipsilateral, contralateral.
True.
Axial, abaxial.
True.
Intermediate.
True.
Visceral.
True.
Parietal.
True.
Yeah, well done.
Parietal. Perineum. Relation, no.
13. The nervous tissue is formed by specialised cells. These specialised cells are called sensory and motor neurons. The sensory neurons transfer information to the brain, which concerns how we move our body. The motor neurons transfer information to and from our brain in relation to what we hear, see and touch. That is, our senses. So the nervous tissue is formed by specialised cells. These specialised cells are called sensory and motor neurons. The sensory neurons transfer information to and from the brain, which concerns how we move our body. The motor neurons transfer information to and from our brain in relation to what we hear, see and touch. That is our senses.
True.
Connective tissue, 14, consists of cells known as fibrous tissue. Smooth tissue, Connective tissue consists of cells known as fibrous tissue. True or false?
True.
Yeah, smooth tissue consists of non-striated cells.
Smooth tissue, non-striated. True.
Well done, you were paying attention earlier. Skeletal tissue consists of striated cells.
True.
Muscles tissue consists of muscle fibers.
True.
15. The following are terms of position and direction: arterial, venial, capillarial, vertical, horizontal, medial. True or false?
True.
False.
Position and direction. Okay, which one isn't?
Yeah, that's false. Arterial is not, venial is not, capillarial is not.
So I thought it would be because of...
That's just the blood system.
But isn't one in, one out?
No, it's to do with position and direction in terms of the anatomy. All the things that you mentioned earlier in terms of anatomical body and direction, like vertical, superior, inferior, has nothing to do with the actual system, blood system. So if it had said things like superior, inferior, anterior, posterior, lateral, medial, superficial, deep, proximal, deep, dorsal, ventral, ipsilateral, contralateral, axial, intermediate, visceral, parietal, that would have been true. But because it contained something that belonged to the blood system, it could contain something that belonged to the muscle system, respiratory, urinary, that would be wrong. So Arteriovenal capillaria is wrong, so that's false. Anterior, superior, inferior, and ipsilateral.
True.
True, well done. 16. The respiratory system consists of a lower but not upper respiratory tract. Gaseous exchange occurs in red blood cells inside the air sacs of the lungs. True or false?
True.
It's false.
Does that say genes?
It just says gases.
Oh.
It's false. Why is it false?
Is it the first part? The respiratory system consists of a lower but not upper respiratory tract.
Yeah, so what is the upper respiratory tract?
The windpipe.
Yeah, if you can't get oxygen down your windpipe, no oxygen's going to get to your air sacs.
Oh, so it does consist of upper and lower.
Does it?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have your upper respiratory tract, nothing's going to get to your
Go
lower.
to the down.
Yeah. So you fell into that one.
Yes.
Yeah. There is such thing as an upper respiratory tract because it leads to the lower respiratory tract, which allows you to breathe in the first place. 17. Digestive tissue consists of non-striated cells. True or false?
False.
It's true. You really do need to go and revise smooth muscle. Urinary tissue consists of striated tissue.
True.
It's false, because striated tissue is skeletal tissue. Reproductive tissue consists of sperm, male gamete, and egg, female gamete. Respiratory tissue contains striated cells.
False.
Well done. Nervous tissue contains cells called neurons and non-striated cells.
True.
Yes, well done. You're getting the hang of that one. That's your only weak topic, to be honest, to do with smooth muscle and skeletal
And that's the
muscle,
video that kept
striated
freezing.
and non-striated. So that's the only one that needs.
And striated, non-striated is skeletal.
No. Try again.
No, obviously smooth is skeletal.
No. Try again.
We're talking about smooth muscles. Non-striated muscles. So what's a non-striated cell?
Well done. Good question. Anything that's not skeletal.
Non-striated cell is anything that's non-skeletal.
That's not skeletal.
It's not skeletal. Okay. Urinary striated tissue.
Yes, so is that true or false?
Oh, the top one.
The urinary tissue contains. You got that right. You
Oh,
said,
the urinary.
so the urinary tissue, does it consist of striated tissue?
Yes.
No.
Urinary tissue consists of striated tissue. False.
Next question.
Reproductive tissue consists of, got that one right. Respiratory tissue consists of striated cells. False.
Yeah. You got that right.
Yeah.
So if I say your humerus, does it contain non-striated cells? You could say.
I would say it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, I need to brush up on that.
Does your humerus contain smooth muscle or skeletal?
Oh, smooth.
Oh,
Oh, skeletal muscle
exactly.
runs along the. Okay.
So your leg, does it contain smooth muscle or skeletal?
Skeletal.
Well done. Does your arm,
Skeletal.
does your rib cage,
Skeletal.
does
So
your stomach contain skeletal or smooth?
smooth.
Is it striated or non-striated?
Striated.
No.
Ah. Wait, so
Is your humerus? Is your
skeletal
humerus? Is your humerus?
skeletal.
Is your?
Which
I haven't
is
asked the question yet. Is the humerus, and you can't direct me to give you a question that you want. Is the humerus striated or non-striated muscle tissue?
The humerus is skeletal tissue, meaning it's non.
No.
So wait, so striated means, I need to know what the word striated means.
This means it's got stripes. The tissue muscle is striped.
Okay. So like,
It's got stripes.
okay, strong. Okay, yes, makes sense.
And is a striated muscle skeletal or non-skeletal?
Skeletal.
Right. And is a non-striated muscle smooth or skeletal?
Smooth.
Well done. Okay, that was good.
18. Yeah.
So go through question 17 again. Digestive tissue consists of non-striated muscle. True or false?
True.
Well done. Urinary tissue consists of striated tissue. True or false?
False.
Well done. Got it. 18. Dendrites pass impulses from the cell body to other cells.
Dendrites.
Pass impulses from the cell body to other cells.
I think that's true.
No?
Nope. That was a guess. I don't know what dendrites are.
Okay. I'll teach it to you off camera. But it's false. And I deliberately put that in to throw you.
Officially tossed.
Yeah, tossed aside. 19. Myelin contains proteins and phospholipids to speed up the movement of nerve impulses that conduct from one destination to another.
That's true.
Yes. 20. Unipolar, bipolar, multipolar are types of sensory, not motor cells.
True.
False. They are both sensory and motor cells. Any thoughts on today?
Yeah, covered a bit extra stuff as well, but all very good. Needed to cover it to be able to move on.
This is sort of like revision but teaching
Yeah,
at the same time.
that's exactly what this was, especially since we did it
It's very
in January.
it's very detailed, but you won't get this amount of detail in the actual exam on this particular topic. But I thought this would actually help balance out the fact that we haven't covered this
For sure.
for 11 months. We did it 11 months ago, to be honest.
Yeah.
And also, it's a dual role of teaching you the information in detail, but also refreshing the knowledge that we'd originally covered 11 months ago.
Yeah,
but
that's
very
what
well
that was.
done.
That's
Yeah.
good.
All
Thanks.
good.
Nice question.
See you on Friday.
Yeah.
Bye.